Welcome to today's class. Today we'll be looking at something interesting, triangles and angles. So let's start from triangles. I believe you are familiar with the word triangle. Triangles are shapes that have three-sided shapes, three-sided shape that have three angles. So now, but before then, let's look at the meaning and different types of triangles. We have what we call equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle. Then we have what we call isosceles triangle. And lastly, we have what we call scalene triangle. Now, please pay close attention. You may actually learn something new even though you are familiar with this one. So, equilateral triangles are those angles that all sides are equal, and it is definite. It is easy to identify. All sides are equal. You can basically not mind my drawing, but let's have the picture that all sides are equal here. So it assumes that if here is 8, here is 8, and here is 8. And that way to get this is that all angles are equal, not just the side. All angles are equal. So, and it is definitely 60, 60, 60. Why? Because sum of angle in a triangle definitely will sum up to what? 180. You know why it's going to sum up to 180? We have the formula for the sum of angles in a shape, sum of angle in a polygon. We use 180 bracket n minus 2 to calculate them. So when we say triangle is three-sided. N is number of the side. So use n here. 3 minus this will give us what? 1. 180 bracket 1 means 180 times 1, which will give us what? 180. So sum of angle in a triangle definitely have to give us what? 180. Now, having this said, sum of angle, equilateral triangle is very easy to identify. Any shape. And here, another way to identify this without labeling the side or giving an angle is this sign. It can be double cut or one cut. It can be like this, but it must be the same number. Now, if a shape is shaded this way, if it is shaded this way, and here nothing is shaded, or 3 is shaded here, 2 here, and 1 here, this will be identified as what? Scalene, meaning none of the sides are equal. You understand? Or sometimes you will see a 2 shade here, 1 shade, and none of the shade in the down one or any other part of the triangle. So it actually refers to scalene triangle. Then what is scalene triangle? Scalene triangle is a triangle that none of the sides are equal. If you search your dictionary, you will see unequal triangles. Scalene triangles has to do with unequal triangles. Then beyond scalene triangle, scalene with anything is actually unequal of those things. Now, I want to talk about isosceles. We don't just have isosceles triangle, we have other isosceles shapes. Isosceles definitely have just one line of symmetry. When anything here isosceles, I'm just trying to put you into knowledge of other things. If you hear isosceles of any kind of shape, it means that line have just one line of symmetry. But beyond the line of symmetry, which we're not learning about line of symmetry here, isosceles triangle have two sides equal. It have two equal angles and two sides to be equal. Now we have something like this. Let's assume we have and here is equal. Please don't mind my drawing. So here, if you hear that this side and this side is equal, whereas this angle and this angle is equal, let me tell you how to identify the angle that is equal. You see, between this angle to this angle, there is a demarcation. Between this angle to this angle, there's a demarcation. Those angles that, in most cases, they call it the base angle. The base angles are equal, but it must not be base because you can have something like this, and they will give you papam and papam. If they give you something like this, it means that here and here is equal. It must not be referred as the base, and base will regard base as the down one, the one that lay horizontal. You understand what I'm saying? So now the angle that doesn't, let me just the simple tip to go after is the angle without this demarcation is what? Equal. You understand? So they are equal. Imagine here is 50 and they ask to find any of these. To find it, if here is 50, what you do is 50 plus, you can tame here to be x, and here, if here is x, definitely here is x. So you have x plus x, which is equal to what? 180. We're having 50 plus 2x is equals to 180. When 50 cross equality sign becomes minus, you have 2x is equals to 180 minus what? 50, and you have 2x is equal to what? 130. Divide both sides by the quotient of x. Divide both sides by the quotient of x. So 2 go here is x, and 2 go here will give us 65. Then it means that here is 65 and here is 65. So that's just for So with this, I've explained when it is equilateral triangle, when it is what? Isosceles triangle. Remember, isosceles triangle, two sides are equal and it has two angles equal. Here and here is equal. The side that is not demarcated by anything, any cut. Whereas it have the two places shaded this way is equally equal, is equal. Now, scalene triangle, none of the side is equal. We have what to call, in these triangles, we have what to call acute triangle, obtuse triangle, and reflex triangle. Now, when we say a triangle is an acute triangle, example, this particular triangle can be referred as acute triangle. When none of the side is more than 90, it's known as acute triangle. Now, before you go to what we call acute triangle, let's learn what is acute angle. Let's learn what is, this is acute angle. Let's know what is obtuse angle. Let's know what is reflex angle. So what is acute angle? Acute angle are angles less than what? Less than 90. That means it starts from 1. Angle cannot be 0. So it starts from 1 to what? 89. And beyond that, 90 itself, any angle 90 itself is known as right angle triangle. You can actually remove triangle if you think it is not closed. If you have something like this, it is right angle. It is not triangle, but it is what? Right angle. So since it is exactly 90, we can refer this as right angle. Then beyond 90, from 91, beyond 90, less than 180 is what? Obtuse angle. Angle that is more than 90. In fact, the whole thing is that this particular question you see it in exam, especially junior WAEC and for those in primary C's that will be writing entrance exam. Entrance, they are hard entrance exam. Something like Jesuit exam, entrance exam. Something like Gronvik Jesuit entrance exam, Gronvik entrance exam, and other big, all these high league schools. So now let's go to what we have here. Obtuse angles are angles more than 90, less than 180. So it starts from 91 to what? 179. Any angle between this, not just between, any angles from this to this is what? Is obtuse angle. So when we talk about reflex angle are more than 180. 180 adults can be named as straight angle or straight line angle. You understand? Then from more than 190, more than 180, that's 181 to 3, you can say 360 to 359 is what we know as reflex angle. So it is more than what? 180. However, 360 itself, I've told you something, in between this, immediately after this, you have what we call right angle. Then immediately after this, you have what we call straight line angle. Immediately after reflex, you have what we call angle at a point or a complete revolution. Angle at a point. That's 360. 360 itself is angle at a point. The reflex angle starts from 181. It is more than, just have it in mind, it is more than what? 180, less than 360. Okay, with that, if they ask you to find a triangle, you can see a question. I have a lot of questions in my question banks, both my question banks and different past questions I have. I have a question that emanates from a triangle. They will give you a triangle and ask you which of the following is an acute triangle. An acute triangle are a triangle that have all the sides less than what? 90. So you call it what? Acute triangle. Example, equilateral triangle is an example of acute what? Triangle. Now let's look at another question. They can ask you which of the following is an obtuse triangle. Obtuse triangle, in as much as it has any side more than, because all the sides can never be more than a triangle, there's no way all the sides will be more than 90. But if it have any particular side more than 90, we'll consider it what? We'll consider it an obtuse triangle. But if it have one side 90, you know, a shape can have one side 90, and here will be what? 45, and here will be 45. And we can have 90, and here will be 30, and here will be 60, or 60, and here will be 30. Now here, in as much as this is right angle triangle, and this is right angle triangle, this can be considered, because here is 45, here is 45, this can be considered what? Isosceles triangle, meaning the two sides are equal. They can call this, imagine they give you this and say, what's the name of this shape? And you didn't see angle 9, you didn't see right angle triangle. This is right isosceles triangle because it has 45 here, it has 45 here. Without them marketing it this way, you need to know, look at a shape and have something that you can use to judge the name or to judge the shape. So this is equally what? Isosceles triangle. Two angles are equal and one of the angles is not. So here we have none of the sides is equal. You can call this scalene triangle. In as much as we have, it is equally called right angle triangle because of this 90. But in other way around, none of the sides is equal. So it has the feature to be called scalene triangle. None of the sides are equal. So then going further, if we have any side more than 90 in a shape, it can't be like this. And here is 108, whatever they like, they can put in the other side. So if you have a shape where one of the side of the triangle is more than 90, we'll call it obtuse triangle. And that's simple. Now let's go further. When we talk about acute angle, when an angle can definitely be more than, okay, reflex triangle. Do we have reflex triangle? Yes, we can. But it is rare for you to see reflex triangle. Do you know why? Reflex triangle must go beyond. Oh, there's not even reflex triangle. The reason is that, see, if for you to say an angle is reflex triangle, we have more than, we have with this place can be reflex because it's more than what? More than 180. But if it is like this, then this cannot be a triangle. Reason is that the reason why you can't have reflex triangle, you know why? Because the sum of angle in a triangle is 180. So a particular angle cannot be more than what? 180. So reflex cannot be a what? A triangle. With that, that's self-explanatory. And this shape is not even a triangle. This is an angle 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we can go further to look at what we call quadrilaterals. I've actually given you insight into different triangles. Going to quadrilateral, I believe now you've done everything about triangle. You must not know everything, but I've given you the key insight on triangles. Now I'm talking about quadrilateral. You know, we have different kind of quadrilaterals. We have square is a quadrilateral. Square, you know the properties of a square. All angles are equal, all sides are equal. Now we have rectangle. Rectangle, the opposite side are equal, and the major reason why I'm actually trying to touch this quadrilateral is that all quadrilaterals are what? 360, sum up to 360. If you recall, when I was talking about triangles, I told you that the reason why sum of angle in a triangle is because the formula for calculating the sum of angles in a polygon is this. So now quadrilaterals have four-sided, our four-sided shape. Replaced here by this, you have 180 bracket 4 minus this, which give us what? 2. 180 times 2 will give us 360. So sum of angles in a quadrilateral. So we'll have square as a quadrilateral, we'll have rectangle as a quadrilateral. Rectangle, all sides are equal. No, rectangle, not all sides are equal. Square, all sides are equal. While rectangle, opposite sides are equal. Then, and opposite sides are equal, opposite angles are equal. So here, if all the angles are 90-90, yes, here all the angles are 90-90. Then we'll have parallelogram. Parallelogram is just a sister, yes, let this one be a brother, is a sister of rectangle. This is the way it looks. You can look any other way, just the height or what's supposed to be the breadth is slight. You understand? So now this is why this is parallelogram. Why rhombus is this? Rhombus is a sister of square. They are equally four-sided there, so you can consider them, not consider, they are fully four-sided shape. Now let's look at another shape you should know. Trapezium. Did I say? Yeah, trapezium. Trapezium, you know one thing about trapezium, this is trapezium where the parallel line are not equal. The parallel line are not equal. It can be standing up this way. It can even be this way, where we have this place. And as far as the parallel line are not equal, this is trapezium. Trapezium is equally four-sided shape. The sum of angles in a trapezium is what? 360. So we'll have trapezium and more of these. We'll have kite too. Kite is equally here. Kite is quadrilateral. So now, watch out for the next video. We'll be looking at different angles. You know, here I thought more of triangles and quadrilateral. We're looking at different angles and we'll be solving angles and their equation. Every problem we can lay our hand, we'll solve it, and from that you'll learn. I believe you learned this video. The best thing you do for us in this video is to share it, comment if you have any question. Not just comment. If you don't have any questions, still say amazing. Share this video and like our videos. I like you. Bye.